everyone, and welcome to the LTH product briefing. I'm joined today by Sarah McLaren, a sales engineer with ContractPodAi. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, Nikki. Nice to be here. Nice to be able to showcase Leah for the team today.
Yes, so nice to have you here. And interesting, you mentioned Leah right away. Obviously, a lot of our audience will be familiar with the fact that ContractPodAi was one of the first CLM tools back in 2023 to launch an AI legal assistant, Leah. But interestingly, since then, Leah has evolved quite considerably. Can you tell us a little bit about that evolution, how Leah has evolved and the relationship between ContractPodAi and Leah has changed?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, Nikki, right, in 2023, we launched Leah, and Leah is ContractPod AI's standalone generative AI powered legal assistant. And the way in which it's evolved since even its inception back in 2023, it really has grown by leaps and bounds, right? And when I say that, being able to help support organizations in supporting different legal business use cases, as we'll go into a little bit today when we walk through the demo, but being able to support legal teams, stretched legal teams from the standpoint of drafting contracts, performing analysis across contracts, supporting negotiation and redlining. So at the end of the day, those lawyers and legal teams are able to really focus on driving more strategic business value throughout the organization. So really the way in which we've evolved Leah over the years is in alignment with that, really hitting on all of those different unique use cases that legal teams are getting bogged down by day in, day out, to allow them to focus their efforts on really value drivers within the organization. So adding on to the capabilities within the solution, allowing it to evolve to help those legal teams solve for more use cases throughout the organization is really just the way in which we've evolved it throughout the years, and even coming out of how we've incorporated that into our CLM solution from an intake and contract review perspective, helping those organizations within the CLM, our CLM offering as well, and infusing some of Leah's evolution into that product has really been the goal, right? To enable those legal teams the ability to do more with less, right? At the end of the day.
Interesting. So I think a lot of people previously would have understood ContractPodAI to be exclusively a contract CLM company and Leah to be an embedded assistant within that. Since then, Leah has become independent. So as you say, it's a product that people
Yes.
can buy, and it goes well beyond contracts in the legal department, but also across an entire business to leverage Leah to mine insights from data and really do a lot of work that again is not necessarily related to contracts, but also related to other business initiatives and goals of an organization.
Yes, absolutely. So things like contract review, of course, very strong use case within the platform, but we've been able to help clients with things like regulatory compliance, supporting M&A activities, due diligence, risk scorecarding. There's a lot that can be accomplished within the solution and a lot of different use cases that we can help those organizations solve for. And do want to mention too, right, that obviously we have a strong legal presence, a lot of legal users within the platform. We also see that it is a solution that can be scaled out to different departments within an organization as well. For example, we also have a help desk feature that you can open up to the organization for users or business users throughout the organization, whether they be sales users, procurement folks coming into the platform wanting to access their organization's knowledge base. So being able to also branch out into other areas of the organization and really unlock value across different departments is another key piece of evolution that we've been focusing on within the standalone solution as well.
Great.
So today what I plan to show you is 3 modules within our Leah solution. Leah Drive, Leah Draft Intelligence for automated playbook drafting, and Leah Redline for the review and redline of contracts.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah. Why don't we jump in and take a look?
Sure. All right. So, first and foremost, within the Leah solution, as you can see here, we have our different modules laid out. As mentioned, we're going to be covering Drive, Draft Intelligence, and Redline within the solution today. So, let's go ahead and jump into Drive, and I'll explain a little bit about Drive before I start walking you through some of the use cases that you can solve for within Drive. Really, the goal of Leah Drive is to allow your organization to take that unstructured contract data, store it within your organization's drives, and start making sense of it. So, providing that data in a more structured format so that you can take action on it. For example, I've come into one of my drives here, and a drive is essentially just a collection of contracts or agreements or documents that we want Leah to run analysis on. When we've uploaded our contracts into Drive, Leah will ingest those contracts, analyze them, and meticulously extract all of the relevant data from those contracts. So, for example, I've come into a sample MSA here. You can see that Leah has extracted all of the relevant party details, important dates, the agreement itself, and probably most importantly, all of those key legal clauses have been dynamically extracted from each contract that we've uploaded into our drive. And then we also have the ability, we click on our little eye here, to view that language, that extracted language, I should say, within the context of the contract itself. So right off the bat, being able to get quick insights into the data and information and legal terms that are residing within our contracts. And Leah will do this for every contract that we've uploaded into our drive. Now, perhaps what's more impactful is being able to extract and view data across, let's say, for example, come back into our drive documents, and let's say under a specific legal topic or term across our entire of contracts. So within our drive, right, let's go ahead and say, for example, we wanted to understand our indemnity provisions or indemnity clause against our entire group of contracts here that we have stored within our drive. So I selected indemnity, and now I can see, right, within a matter of seconds, Leah has provided us with insight into all of our indemnity clauses that have been identified throughout our entire group of agreements that we've uploaded into our drive. So providing us with those subclauses so we understand everywhere within that document that indemnity clause has been located, as well as the extraction itself and the summary. And of course, if we click on our little eye icon here, we can also see where that indemnity language is residing within the contract itself.
Great.
So right off the bat, being able to get that quick insight, again, being able to structure that previously unstructured data that was sitting within those contracts and pull it into a format that's easy to view and easily to digest, easy to take action on.
Can I just ask you, what is the confidence rating or reliability of the AI in terms of its extraction capabilities? How can users know that they're able to rely on the extraction?
Yeah, that's a great question. One we get pretty often, right? So the accuracy rate of Leah is very high. And the reason for that is because we have handpicked and curated our LLM. So the LLMs that we are using within Leah specifically for extraction have been trained to recognize a large number of legal terms and topics within a variety of contract documents. And the LLMs that we are using for the extraction capabilities within the solution are really fine-tuned to have a high degree of accuracy from an extraction rate. And of course, that has been meticulously tried and tested, not only by our teams internal when we were building out the product and as we continue to evolve on the product, but also in conjunction with our partners, and they help us train our LLMs as well on the back end. We take pride in an accuracy rate and the ability to really train those LLMs to extract data with a high degree of precision and a high degree of accuracy.
Thank you.
So one other thing we can do as well. So what we just saw was being able to extract terms from a large group of agreements, but maybe we wanted to take a more comprehensive approach to asking specific targeted questions into our contract set. that's where we can come into what we call Leah Drive, and we can choose specific legal topics. Let's go with the theme of indemnity that we want to query against. So let's choose our legal topics here. Let's say I want to understand specifically within our indemnity language across our contracts here. I wanted Leah to review those clauses, identifying the most common indemnification provision. And I also want Leah maybe to list all of the contracts within our drive that has non-standard indemnification provisions present within those documents. So I've come into Leah, and through natural language prompting, I can ask that question. Leah will analyze the documents within our drive, all of the documents that have indemnification clauses present, and in just a minute, as you'll see, provide us with a comprehensive answer. If we scroll up a bit, you can see Leah's letting us know, here are the contracts where non-standard indemnification language has been identified, providing us with the analysis. So standard indemnification pattern appears in over 70% of the contracts, but also letting us know the source reasoning, right? So which contracts contain non-standard indemnification provisions, allowing us to download those contracts so we can explore further outside of Leah or view that language within the context of the contract document itself. So as you can see, right, with Leah Drive, really allowing us teams the unique ability and opportunity to query across entire document sets, as well as get quick insight into contract data. And as you can imagine, the impact that this can bring to legal teams who are probably doing this manually today or through very maybe inefficient methods, really giving them the ability to take that work off of their plate, but also giving them the visibility into the contract data so that they can make more strategic business decisions across their organization. So now that we've seen a little bit of Drive, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about what we call draft intelligence within the platform. And draft intelligence really is all around being able to harmonize your organization's contract preferences and standards into playbooks that you can then take and use for redlining, reviewing your organization's contracts. So I've come into draft intelligence and I've uploaded a number of documents. So the way in which we're able to harmonize your playbooks is by allowing you to up to 50 documents. These could be previously executed agreements, sort of gold standard contract templates, really those contracts or documents where your organization's preferred preferences as well as all of your fallback positions are incorporated. And you can simply upload those into Leah Draft Intelligence and leverage Leah to help draft a playbook with only a few clicks of your button, right? So coming in, drafting up the playbook, choosing, Leah has analyzed the contracts here, has pulled out all of the legal terms that she's identified within the contracts, gives us the ability to choose which legal topics we want to bring into our playbook. I won't go through the process of actually building out the playbook now for sake of time, but I have already harmonized the playbook here just to give you a better idea of what that actual playbook looks like. Once Leah has ingested the documents, analyzed those documents, and formulated our playbook, the end result will be a nicely formatted playbook document that you can then take and use that outside of Leah, or what I think is probably the most impactful way to leverage this playbook moving forward is to actually connect it into the other modules that we offer within Leah. So connecting it to our drafting module to be able to draft up first passes of contracts, connecting it to Redline for the redline and review of third-party contracts, or connecting it to our help desk module. So really providing that interconnected ecosystem so that you can harmonize your organization's standards and bring that into other areas of the platform. Now that you understand a little bit more of how you can create those playbooks, harmonize your organization's preferred positions, and bring those into the other areas of the solution, I'll walk you through what it looks like to actually redline contracts within the platform. So we also offer, as you see here, a redlining module, and we offer a few ways for teams to redline contracts within the solution. By going into one of our projects here, let me see if I can find one where I can begin drafting redlines. So coming into one of our projects here, I can upload that document that I would like Leah to redline for us. And I can click draft redlines within our module. And I'm presented with a few options to redline a contract. we offer up a conversational redlining UI with a platform where you can redline via conversational chatbot, where you can come in and have Leah redline and in alignment with your playbooks, redline rules, or do document comparison and redline in more of a conversational manner, or we take a more automated approach as well via our one-click redline option. So whatever method you want to take, we support multiple different types of redlining capabilities within the solution. Now, I won't go through the full process of redlining a document. I'll just bring up one that I've already begun taking a conversational redlining approach for within the solutions. This is a contract where I want to begin redlining it in alignment with my organizations. And as you can see here, Leah has already started taking the first pass of that contract, bringing it more in alignment with our organization's preferences. But as you can see, I've also come in and maybe I have some really explicit or direct guidance I want to provide for amending specific terms within this agreement. For example, I've come in, I've asked Leah to amend the late fee to 1.5%. And Leah has come in and amended and modified our late fee to bring it more in alignment with our guidance or our direction. Now, once we've completed redlining a document, I just want to show you what the output looks like for sake of time. So once we've redlined our document and redrafted those red lines, this is what a completed version of that document might look like. So we have that integration with Microsoft Word Online, where once we draft up the red line and pull it out of Leah, it comes into Microsoft Word, where we can then review Leah's red lines to this contract. We can see Leah's reasoning and rationale as comments within the contract. So as we're reviewing Leah's recommended changes to the contract, we can view her reasoning along the way. And then we also have an add-in over here where we can view a few additional things, right? So being able to see a risk score for the contract, a clause level risk score as well. So for each non-compliant clause within the contract, Leah will identify how non-compliant that clause is as compared to either a playbook or redline rules or other. And then we also have the ability to access or leverage our clause library as well. So maybe this is our clause library that contains all of our organization's preferred positions as well as fallback text. We also have access to the fingertips within the add-in, so we can quickly be able to come in, understand what clauses we have within our clause library and insert those dynamically into the contract, as well as a precedence reco where you can upload previously executed contracts and leverage those previously negotiated contracts for negotiating this contract forward.
That's great. It's a very comprehensive solution. Thank you so much, Sarah, for showing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've really just scratched the surface. Wish I could show you more. There are a few other tools as well where you really have the power to, again, unlock that value across the organization, solve for those different use cases. This is just the tip of the iceberg within Leah.
Sarah, thank you so much for being here to show us Leah. It's really an impressive solution, and I'm sure it's clear to a lot of people how comprehensive it is and how far it's evolved since it was first launched. For those of you watching, we will put a URL across the bottom of the screen so that you can reach out to ContractPodAi and find out more about Leah. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and see you next time on the LTH Product Briefing.